Alright, I'm getting ready for my first art show featuring the zinc metal. I figured out how to cleanly melt zinc. All of these came from, well, pennies, and I like to joke that we're still on a zinc standard, right? We're coming up to the 52nd anniversary of when the US ended the gold standard. We might end the zinc standard as well, get rid of pennies at some point, so making the best of it while it still lasts. And if I hurry the art shows tomorrow, I can do some more tin. This is almost pure tin. You actually need to alloy the tin with a few other metals because pure tin is apparently not very stable over the long haul. And so I've melted zinc. I did some Britannia metal, although I got kind of sick when I melted that stuff because it has antimony in it. I think I got a little toxicity. And so this time I'm going to mix my own metal. I'm probably going to mix up tin with bismuth this time. And I hope to try aluminum at some point as well. I tried it at one point with aluminum cans and it didn't go very cleanly, let's say that. I'll give it another try at some point now that I have the experience with the zinc. Zinc and aluminum both oxidize considerably when you melt it. I still have a bunch of the zinc oxide. I hate to just toss it, so well, at some point I'll figure out how to turn it back into zinc. And I need to figure out the right gear, PPE, to use. My friend works at a shooting range, and he gave me a bunch of spent bullets with lead in them, and I hope to cast them into something. The nice thing about lead is that it contracts when it freezes. And so part of the problem with pouring something like this out of bismuth is that it bulges outward and it wobbles when you put it down. Lead would avoid that problem, and you could also anodize it into all sorts of colors as well. But all of this stuff is much more fun than silver. So this is not something that I know how to make just yet. I bought these on eBay, and they brought me a lot of good luck at a backgammon tournament, but it'll be a while before I figure out how to cast. Well, I did try casting some silver at one point. Did a Christmas tree, if I remember correctly. It's not fun. You gotta turn it up to a very high temperature, and the furnace, and it only does graphite molds, right? You can't do it with silicone. So there's, well, obviously there's limitations to the shapes and how big the molds are. Not to mention silver is quite a bit more expensive than all these other metals, and so you're probably not going to put together a big Buddha, and just this stuff is just a lot more fun. And a lot of these metals are actually not that much more common than silver, if you can believe it. I think tin is on par in terms of rarity with silver. Zinc might be a little bit more common, but we actually consume a lot of zinc, right? This year we might run a deficit in zinc. I mean, we run a deficit in silver too, but it's manageable. Anyway, it's just a lot more fun, and I just can't bring myself to buy any more precious metals now that this stuff is just more fun. And I'd rather, if I'm going to be investing in metals, I want to play with it at the same time, right? And so I'm a little bit saddened to see the precious metals correction this month because I feel obligated to buy stuff. I'd rather be buying this stuff, right?